So you win. You're not him. You weren't born there. So we have aid going to Haiti to help people like him to start jobs to make money. She used to go outside in the street light to study because the single light bulb wasn't bright enough in her house. That's it. And if she didn't have us, 119, it was students of 119, raised money, and we just year after year after year, we just gave her money, her and her sister went to law school, and to do this. If she didn't have that, she never would have gone to school because she's so poor. The reason we're fighting in the DRC is because we're fighting over the precious metals that are going to go into this phone. They're fighting over it. It's a proxy war, different groups fighting over it, including with weapons that are sold by U.S. weapons manufacturers, okay? And they're all fighting for this so that we can have this. Like, do they deserve our aid? Or is it just life?
There's not much I could say. I wish I could do something. I wish I could do more and help, but I don't want to say like life goes on. I don't want to say that, but it's just like.
So here, let me show you. Go to the next slide. USAID. So this is the organization that the current president, the administration wants to shut down. USAID. So they're responsible for distributing about 60% of all the foreign aid that we distribute. And it's just like, shut it down. Okay? So that's going to include all sorts of things, including, shipments of grain to Ethiopia, to people that are in drought, shipments in Western Nigeria, where there's a drought going on, right? Shipments in lots of different places where it's like, man, let's just shut it down and be done. Okay, that's what this argument is about. So that's what we're having this conversation about, so that you all can have a little bit better understanding when you see this USAID in the news, and you're aware of it in this country anyway, you have some kind of understanding. So here, let me show you a couple things. We won, okay? I want to give you 3 stories here. Okay, go to the first one. That's my wife. And we were in Haiti. We had a project in Haiti for many, many, many years, and so it's 2019. But we've spent a lot of time in Haiti. This young kid right here, he's an entrepreneur. I mean, this kid, amazing kid. First off, cool personality, really smart, super innovative. He learned how to make these bracelets, and then he figured out he went online. And he found a machine that could help him make bracelets faster, and he built the machine for himself so he could make bracelets faster. And then, not only that, but he found out that if he bought a large spool of thread, like large spools of thread, instead of buying small amounts, if he bought large spools, then he could buy it for like a fifth of the price. And so he gets a loan from somebody. He gets someone to give him a loan. And he gets someone to take him downtown to this area where he could buy this thread. And he buys these big spools of it. And because he can get it so inexpensively, then he's paying them back for the loan. This kid's like 9 years old. Okay? 9, imagine that. And this guy is just it's just spectacular after another. He's still living. He lives in Cité du Soleil. And Cité du Soleil is this really, really poor neighborhood in Port-au-Prince, and he still lives there. It's possible he's not even alive at this point because of the violence that is happening in Cité du Soleil, okay? You guys win. You could be him. You could have all the greatest ideas in the world. All the greatest ideas. And let me tell you, if you met this kid would thrive at Penn State. He's so smart. And so talented, and such a personality. He's not here. We weren't going to get him here, So you win. You're not him. You weren't born there. So we have aid going to Haiti to help people like him to start jobs to make money. Okay? All right, that's cool. So that's Ernso on the left. Ernso is my friend. Ernso is the father of a former student of mine many years ago. He's my brother, actually. Ernso and I are brothers. I mean, we're soul brothers, right? Melissa is a young woman who grew up in a house about half the size of this screen with a single light bulb hanging down from the ceiling. A single light bulb. She used to study. We put her through college. She's a doctor now. Right? So when you see her in this photo, she's in medical school, but now she's a doctor in Haiti. She used to go outside in the street light to study because the single light bulb wasn't bright enough in her house. That's it. And if she didn't have us, 119, it was students of 119, raised money, and we just year after year after year, we just gave her money, her and her sister went to law school, and to do this. If she didn't have that, she never would have gone to school because she's so poor, right? You win. You guys win. She wins, but she won. She won the lottery because she just got lucky to have met me one day on our trip, or met Ernso, and Ernso said, hey, Sam, we got to help these two young girls. Like, what do you think? And I said, yeah, we'll put them through school in our class. It's crazy, right? And she works at a hospital in Haiti. Man, dude, if I took you to the hospital where she works, you couldn't imagine that it's a hospital. You can't imagine. And so she doesn't have the education that she would get if she went to med school here. But it's what it is. And it's good. I mean, it's what it is, right? It just is what it is. All right, there's one. So look at that. If she was here, totally different world, but she's not. She's in Haiti. Next slide. So in the DRC right now, here's foreign aid. So this aid's getting cut in the DRC. There's been a war going on, including the Second Great War of Africa, since 1998. 6 million deaths, 7 million people displaced. The amount of violence is just unfathomable. And what we're fighting over, cobalt, copper, tantalum, gold, tin, all important for electronics. Bro, your phone right here, that stuff's going right in. The reason we're fighting in the DRC is because we're fighting over the precious metals that are going to go into this phone. They're fighting over it. It's a proxy war. Different groups fighting over it, including with weapons that are sold by U.S. weapons manufacturers, okay? And they're all fighting for this so that we can have this. Think about that. So we're cutting aid to the DRC, even though right now the violence has escalated again. We're cutting aid there because we've decided, we're not going to do that. We're going to shut USAID down and we're going to cut aid to the DRC. Even though the precious metals are still going to come. They're still going to go to our phones. But we're not responsible. Jazel, how is that? Like, do they deserve our aid? Or is it just life?
The word deserves loaded there.
Okay.
I can't, it's hard to argue on either side here because you do think that they would need aid. And then you start thinking about how much of the aid is being used productively there too. So like you mentioned about how half of the aid ends up coming back around. So
half the aid we're gonna send, it's not about being productive. Look, it's about the U.S. tax dollars going back into Americans and American companies, right? So some of it's also about being productive, of course, on the ground, right? How much corruption is there? These kinds of things, right? But
in general, I'm upset about reading that. I've not heard much about the conflict at the DRC, but those metals are precious for a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's justified to say they need aid just because, we need those metals. I think just the idea of 6 million deaths or even 7 million people getting internally displaced is dissettling for me personally.
Yeah.
So I do think that if there's a potential for aid, it should be given.
Hey, Tolu. So when you think about how much Americans know about Africa, about Nigeria, how much do average Americans know about Nigeria, would you say, in your conversations with people?
like 5%. A lot of people don't really know.
Like it's just a very small number of
Very
people
small,
know.
yeah.
So are you familiar with what's going on in the DRC?
A little bit, but not so much about what he said, just a little bit.
Uh-huh. So when you think about your foreign aid dollars going to stop this, look, can I just tell you, can I put another thing out here? This is like a trigger warning kind of thing, but the estimate in this period of time is there's so many different layers to it, but the estimate is like up to 500,000 women have experienced sexual violence. 500,000, okay? So this is all happening in your lifetimes. You know, it's all just happening day after day after day, right? So, you know, for you, as an African, it's a different country, right? It's a different world, but still, like when you think about, oh man, think about your life here, think about this life here, think about your life as a Penn State student, and think about, okay, a small portion of your tax dollars. You were at work before you came here. That's where you were late, right? Coming from work. So a small portion of your work is going to get pulled out by taxes and sent to places like this.
It's just sad, it's sickening. There's not like much I could say. Like I wish I could do something. I wish I could do more and help, but I don't want to say like life goes on. I don't want to say that, but it's just like, I don't know. At this point, it's just so much happening.
Yeah. Okay. So it's confusing, right? You're 19 years old. It's confusing. You don't have to know the answers, but it's very confusing. Okay? Are you confused? Sufficiently confused?